Histeus, what's your question?
They have a few so far.
Just Histeus has a few?
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you want a question on a deck, or do you want a more general question?
You're the director, man. You pick.
Yeah, that's
All
your
right,
job.
All right, let's get into this one.
All right.
What are your thoughts on the new Mulligan rule?
I think as we get closer to MC London, we're going to do a little bit of experimentation. Probably the next time we play Modern on Versus Live, we're just going to do it just to see. I think it's going to...
Shotgun Dredge.
That's fine. I think shotgun a deck with 4 ley lines void in the sideboard.
Let's
sir.
go.
99%. Let's go. No, so here's the thing. They have stated that they don't really want the Mulligan rule to shape how you build your deck. And I think that it's going to shape how people choose decks. And that is not something that I really like. I think it absolutely breaks Bazaar of Baghdad in Vintage, which is fine because the card's stupid. I think it breaks Faithless Looting in Modern. And there's probably something that messes up in Legacy too. But, I think that it's probably a little too good. But I think that it is okay to have something a little too good that makes Standard and Limited significantly better at the cost of making older formats a little bit worse. And you can always justify, I think, doing something that kind of messes up older formats in order to make Magic better or to make the play experience for the majority of players better. And right now I think with Magic Arena booming and people really getting into best of 3 on Arena, like people don't like mulliganing. New players do not like mulliganing. They don't like playing non-games of Magic. Spectators don't want to watch non-games of Magic. And at the sacrifice of having a couple cards needing to be banned in older formats or something like that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'll echo everything Todd said. And as far as it breaking Vintage and Legacy, I don't care about those formats at all. So I just don't.
Yeah, but you have to empathize with the people who do, and I think it's important to have a balance. And yes, I agree that if it comes at the expense of a format that less than 5% of the player base plays, that's fine to me.
Yeah. As far as Modern goes, I don't think it's going to present too many problems beyond some of the Faithless Looting decks. And if it gets Faithless Looting banned and the format adjusts, that'll be fine. Magic is pretty resilient. Metagames are pretty resilient.
Do you think we'll have to ban something like Simian Spirit Guide because you get to use Serum Powder, Chalice to the Void, Simian Spirit Guide, Gemstone Caverns? Like that turn 1 Chalice type deck might end up being a little too strong.
I mean, right now, those decks are essentially unplayable. So it would have to get a lot stronger to go from unplayable to so broken it needs to be banned. Because those are the two exact ends of the spectrum.
Maybe not so broken needs to be banned, but to the point where it's just obnoxious. Like the turn 1 Chalice draw goes from like a 5%, 10% or whatever with Simian Spirit Guide, Chalice, and a land to like 70% or whatever. And I don't know. To me, that just doesn't feel great. But I get your point. Aside from that, though, I think that in general, I think the Mulligan rule is just going to be very healthy for Magic. I am shocked that they chose to do it for a Modern Pro Tour. They're literally just putting the stress test like immediately. But I think that that's actually a bad idea because I think you're going to have like Dredge and stuff running rampant because of this rule. And it's just going to make it look bad when I wish they had done it for Standard. So you just have a bunch of sweet games. And then you just kind of say, okay, well, Modern, you can deal with it. Or we can start banning stuff. You pick,
Yeah, I think the optics might end up being bad, though stress testing it is also a positive. Hopefully we get more people watching the limited round so they can see how good it'll be in the draft in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get to Modern in the afternoon. But all right, it'll be fine.
Next question.
All right, still from Histeus. What are your thoughts on the Merfolk deck that Raph Levy played? Does it have legs in this format, or fins in this case?
I actually tested a Merfolk deck on last Monday.
Oh.
I played 1 league with it.
Yeah? 1-4?
No, I think I went 3-2.
Nice.
The deck it's not horrible.
Were you playing the version that had 4 Deeproot Waters main?
I was not, and apparently that card is busted.
Yeah, it's great. Every time my opponent casts that card, I'm terrified.
I was playing a list based off of Emma Handy's article from about a month or two ago.
Sure.
From the beginning of the format. I knew that the deck needed more 1s from her initial list. I thought that Merfolk Trickster was too important, so I added Mistcloaked Herald, which is actually pretty good because you get into these big stalls and just putting some counters onto an unblockable creature is nice.
Yep.
I could even see them going into the list that they have that has Jade Bearer and Kumena's Speaker as additional ones. The deck plays out pretty similarly to the white aggro decks, but if it's a little bit slower to the board to get going, because Kumena needs this big board, history is a little bit faster, so as Loxodon a little bit more immediately impactful out of those decks, but it goes bigger. So like,
I mean, Kumena is pretty messed up if it gets going.
So like the white aggressive decks are almost like dead once the Sultai deck creates this big battlefield, and then you finality them away. Like the Merfolk deck can go over the top of that. So that was a big advantage, and you get a much better sideboard against control and Nexus decks. I was obliterating any Nexus deck. Of course, I had made Spell Pierce, but
right. I mean, I think most Spell Pierce decks are going to be pretty good against Nexus in general because they just don't have that immediate threat of Wilderness Reclamation on turn 3 or 4. So
this one also just like kills them on turn 5 sometimes, just like the White Weenie deck. But so it has some impressive matchups, and I think if well tuned, the deck could end up being better than Azorius Aggro.
Strong words.
It's at the very least close. I think the two are comparable. I have a very low opinion of the white aggressive decks, relative to average, and I think I have a high opinion of the Merfolk deck, and so I think they're close, whereas most people think they're not that close. To give you, but I'm intrigued. I haven't tested it with deeper waters, but I might. I don't know when I'm playing standard next though.
All right, one more.
All right. So kind of going off a bit of the last discussion here, Viper 12 Skies was curious, if you're playing a white deck, would you play the mono white deck, or would you prefer to play Azorius Aggro?
I don't particularly like the splash, though there was more Nexus decks at the MC than I expected, and if there's a high enough density of those decks, and I think you need the splash to help out in that matchup. But in general, I prefer to be more consistent.
I mean, the card Root Snare just buys them so much time against you if you're mono white that it effectively becomes Nexus 5 through 8 for 2 mana. And without having some sort of negate package in the sideboard, it's tough. But yeah, I don't like main deck any blue cards. I like Marcio's build where main deck is just all mono white and then you just have the counter spells in the sideboard. I was never a huge fan of Deputy Detention anyway. But
I do think Deputy is good in like the mirror. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the matches. We're going to be playing Esper Control here from Ross's side. I'm going to be playing Alex Maugelton's mono red splashing green deck. Let's
odd or even.
Even always. It's odd.
Yeah.
Tilt.
I learned on Sunday night watching the Danes team draft that Ivan always loses.
Okay. I need to fix this sleeve real fast. I don't know where that came from. The Danes always lose, is that what you said?
I said Ivan always loses.
Ivan always loses.
Ivan Flock.
Oh.
That was their joke when they were rolling dice. They always chose odd because Ivan always loses.
It's a really bad joke. All right, you're on the play. How's your hand?
Let's see. It's fine.
Okay, my hand's pretty good. We got some 1-drops here, and I think 1-drops are pretty important in this matchup.
I have a solid early game, but I need to hit some more lands and then something to take over.
All right, 18. I'm going to lead off here with a Lava Runner. Cards like Firebrand get a lot better when you have Spectacle in your deck because you get to play them at instant speed and do some stuff. All right, Frenzy or Light of the Stage? Or Chain Whirler.
Well, I don't have an answer to a Frenzy right now, so I think I just have to take it. The game's going to go long enough that I get to do a thing.
I know.
I have enough interaction. I just need to hit land drops here, so I'm actually going to bin this Moment of Craving.
All right, I'm going to draw for turn. Now I have the choice. I think I need to get more damage in, and even though I might hit land off of Light of the Stage, I think I have to go Firebrand here. Attack for 2, put you to 18. And then we'll light up the stage. Obviously. All right, your turn.
Okay. I could try to tag the other Firebrand in Todd's hand, but I think I'd rather just be mana efficient and cry here.
Yikes. Cry the Carnarium as an addition to that deck. It's very strong against mono red. All right. Chain Whirler, you.
I'm at 17.
All right, your turn. This is not going well. We got 2 for 1 by one of Ross's best cards, and our lie at this stage just was a land for 1 mana.
I'm going to contempt that Chain Whirler. Just continue answering Todd's stuff.
Yep.
Go to 19.
Yep, and the Frenzy getting hit with the contempt. Just not good. All right, shock you and then hit you for 3.
So 14.
And go. And I did that to get the second instant to the graveyard for Lava Runner.
Search for Azcanta.
Sure.
Pass the turn.
Attack for 3.
11.
He doesn't have a second white yet, so we're going to go ahead and play Steamkin and hope he doesn't hit Rakai's Wrath. So if he ever hits, I think we're dead anyway. If he takes out these, you know.
Pass the turn. Just need to hit some lands here.
All right, text up.
Yep.
4.
Go to 7.
All right. Unfortunately, we don't have a follow-up to pump the Steamkin. Because of Frenzy, I think I'm just going to play my land in case we draw another Frenzy. Your turn.
Keep it. Go to
Shock
5.
5.
And Kai's Wrath you.
Yep. So we only got in 1 extra point off the Steamkin, but we had the potential to do 2.
Pass the turn.
I think that was worth it. And if he missed that turn, we'd be in pretty good shape. Now he's at 5.
1 brick here, and I think we're good.
Your turn.
That's not too concerning.
Yeah, Steamkin is kind of at its worst in this matchup, just because of the raw attrition that Ross puts me under. A lot of times, like, I'm just drawing off the top, and a Steamkin off the top is quite bad.
Guess I'll just bin this because I'm going to get a land from this transforming, because that's my 7th card.
Mm-hmm.
And then draw for turn. I will play a Teferi.
Mm-hmm.
I will plus it.
Mm-hmm.
I will go to my end step and untap some lands.
Yeah, and here I'm just assuming Ross has Absorb, and we are pretty knockered. But I'm going to try to kill him, and Wizard's Lightning you trigger this. Because if all he has is a removal spell, he still goes to 2. If he has Absorb, he goes to 6, and that's not great.
I'll absorb the Wizard's Lightning and take the attack. So I end at 6.
Your
go
turn.
to 8, take 2.
Untapping with Teferi and 6 life with a handful of cards in Azcanta the Sunken Ruin is not great. But this is kind of the whole game plan of the Esper control deck, especially in this matchup. You have things like Moment of Craving and Vraska's Contempt and Absorb to buy you some time.
Mm-hmm. Kai's Wrath, then untap these 2 and unstep. You can go.
We'll try this. I'm pretty sure it's going to get countered, but
that resolves.
Whoa! Land off the top. Your turn.
Mortified.
GG's. Man.
Plus
we have a land on top too. This game is over. We'll play it out until you ultimate Teferi, but
let's activate Azcanta.
We are dead.
I'll find an absorb and go to my end step and untap these 2.
Go.
End step. Activate Azcanta.
I lose.
Yeah, I've got to absorb in a bunch of stuff.
All right, let's play another game 1 because that was a pretty quick game 1, and want to see if I can win a game on the play. I think the games in general are going to be pretty quick, and Ross and I are pretty familiar with how we want to sideboard, so that shouldn't take too long. We might be able to get in a full 5er of this matchup.
Yeah.
Any questions while we're shuffling?
Yeah, we had another one from Asteus here. How different are the Sultai Nexus and Temur Reclamation matchups? What matchups do you really want the Niv and removal? Or what matchups do they give you a leg up against just turboing out Nexus?
So I personally hate Fog. So I think that like when Fog is good, Simic is good, and when Fog is bad, Temur is better. I think that personally, from experience, Nexus of Fate is super messed up with Search for Azcanta and Wilderness Reclamation. When you have that 3-card combo, is very hard to lose. Whereas if you play Temur, all you need is Reclamation and Explosion. Like that 2-card combination usually kills a thing and draws you enough cards to find another one, which will kill your opponent. So you only need 2 parts of the combo. And I just personally, I'm a huge fan of the Temur version. I thought that I think it was Pascal Maynard's version was quite strong. I watched Corey Baumeister played on stream a lot yesterday, and it just looked pretty nice. But I don't know. I mean, I like both decks, but I'm never gonna root for Nexus of Fate. Just not gonna do it. So I think that the format would just be generally more fun to watch and better without Nexus of Fate in it. I think that the fact that they had to have a judge shuffle players' decks in the top 8 of the Mythic Championship because they did not allow proxies, and it was very easy to cut to the foils. Are you kidding? Just ban it. You already banned it in Best of 1. Just ban it. No one who plays with Nexus of Fate likes playing with Nexus of Fate. They play it because they think it's the best deck. I mean, if they do like it, they're psychopaths anyway, so, you know, get them out. Thoughts?
Okay, I would say that at this point, with the premier aggressive deck in the format being mono blue, a deck that Fog is not particularly effective against, I would prefer the deck that actually interacts with the early creatures so that you can answer Obsession, whereas the Simic deck is sort of cold to it.
Also, I think Thief of Sanity is a hugely strong card against Simic, and it's like kind of mediocre against Teamer because they have to leave in. I mean, they can just leave in shocks and be fine or whatever.
It's true.
Yeah, dude, I've lost so many games to Thief of Sanity.
You keeping your 7 because I already mulliganed.
Yeah,
my hand was 6 lands contempt.
I'm on the play. My hand's great.
Yeah. I'm on the draw, and this hand is not great, but I think it's a keep. And just for the sake of my curving out, I have to keep that.
All right.
Yes. I'm a 19 from that first attack. 18 from this one. What else we got? 16 from that
Zap
one.
you. Your turn. Zapdos.
Ugh. Chapel, search for Escanto.
You better have Carnarium, because if not, you are dead. Right.
I was thinking exactly the
13?
same thing. 13.
Light up the stage. Oh, weird. A long runner. And there you go. Did you need the land, or did you need the Cry of the Carnarium? Oh, he didn't need the land. Bang! Honestly, even if you have Cry of the Carnarium, you might still lose. Oh, did you Moto Bug? Will you put a Gala Shrine in the graveyard and do another Gala Shrine? All right, I heard Jim Davis complain about this. I heard Corey Baumeister complain about this. They said it was like an arena shuffler thing. I just want to point out. It happens in real life too, baby.
You can go.
Shock you?
11.
Lightning Strike you?
8.
8 for 5?
3.
Wizard's Lightning you?
0.
Yeah! Turn 4 kill? And you didn't even take damage, did you?
No. I also didn't cast an interactive spell.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
your fault.
I cast 2 mana Scry 1.
All right. We're going to take a short break here while we prepare sideboards to play out a few more games post-board. Don't go anywhere. Be right back for more Versus Live. All right, back here for sideboarding. From my side of things, Runaway Steamkin, I think, is your worst creature. It incentivizes you to overextend, which makes it harder for you to apply pressure in the face of Kai's Wrath and Cry of the Carnarium. On top of that, you're never going to get to use the ability. And even if you do get to use the ability, that means you're so far ahead with things like Experimental Frenzy or whatever that the ability just doesn't matter. I think overall it just has the smallest body for the investment, and the play patterns with it are just not ideal. And then we're also going to be siding out Shock because it's our worst burn spell. I'm trying out Cindervines in this matchup. It's not for this matchup specifically, but if we can cast this on turn 2, Ross either has to choose between hitting it with a Mortify or just taking like 5 or 6 damage over the course of the game naturally. It also acts as a nice counter to something like an Eldritch Reborn that's about to pop off, potentially taking out a Search for Escanta early in the game, both of which I think are quite good. And then we're going to bring in one Direfleet Daredevil. It's just a nice little cheeky 2-for-1. Hitting a Thought Erasure or Duress is quite powerful in this matchup. Collision Colossus, like we talked about before, pretty good against Lyra Dawnbringer, plus if they decide to bring in Thief Sandy, it's a nice answer to that. And if it's ever a dead card, you can maybe find a spot to turn it into a Boros Charm for your opponent.
Yeah. Or sometimes kill a Teferi out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, if I plus Teferi and think I'm safe and you just go Firebrand or Lava Runner with haste into Colossus, you can take it out. On my side, pretty obvious what we're bringing in. I think Duress and Negate are both pretty good once these mono red decks have gone to a lot of burn spells and have Experimental Frenzy. The Kaya here is going to be especially good as a life gain tool and win condition that we can just sit on the battlefield. And Todd's going to have a hard time killing this from 4 or 5 loyalty. It's going to gain a ton of life for a cheap cost. This is one of the matchups where it shines. And then Lyra and All-Star. I think the 2 weakest cards by far are Karn and the Elder Reborn, just awkward, expensive cards that don't have a lot of impact in this matchup, so they can easily get cut when we've brought in some other win conditions. And then I'm cutting some of the card advantage because I'm hoping that my sideboard cards do the heavy lifting, and I don't need too much card advantage in this matchup because Todd's deck will likely peter out as long as it can answer Experimental Frenzy.
Yeah, plus you still have things like Teferi, which kind of act as card advantage. Escanta, the Sunken Rune, acts as card advantage.
Yeah, both Chemistry's Insight and Kaya's Wrath end up being pretty clunky as 4-mana spells. I don't want to really draw them in multiples. I'm cutting Insight entirely. I'm leaving 1 Wrath in the deck, so I have 3 sweepers if you count the main deck Cries. This is not a matchup where you need to cast a ton of sweepers in order to take over. The first Cry should be good enough, and then let your spot removal take over from there. I'm paying respect to a card that is not in Todd's list, which is Rekindling Phoenix, by leaving in all my Vraska's Contempts. It's a card that's commonly in red sideboards, so something that I think you do have to respect. Mm-hmm. So the Contempts can stay in. They do still gain a little bit of life, but overall I don't think those are particularly good in this matchup either.
All right, let's take a few questions while we're shuffling here for game 3.
All right, we got one from Balder Elf for each of you. Ross, why do the Esper decks not play Sinister Sabotage, considering it works well with Search for Escanta? And Todd, doesn't Frenzy get clunky when you exile it with Light Up the Stage?
Okay, let's answer yours first.
Okay, Sabotage is just worse than Absorb. The 3 life is so huge in any aggressive matchup, especially this one. I think it's worth more than the Surveil, and I think it's one of the reasons that Esper is performing so well. I think that card is just really, really powerful for buying you the time you need as a control deck. So yeah. Just worse than Absorb, even though Sabotage is a good card.
Yeah, the 3 life rebuy is just so potent against decks trying to pressure life total that I think it's a bit better than Sabotage in that deck specifically. From my side of things, Experimental Frenzy is just your best card, and it doesn't work well with your second best card, which is Light Up the Stage. But I think in general, having more things that say draw cards effectively is important in matchups that are grindy like this one. And and I'm not going to second guess Magneton. He just top 8 at a Mythic Championship. So you want all your card draw on this matchup if that's what you were specifically referring to. All right.
Okay, I've got a solid one.
Yeah, I'm on the draw. I think I'm going to keep.
Hallowed Fountain Pass.
All right. Not bad. 18, attack for 1.
I'm at 19.
Your turn.
I guess I'll just Duress you.
Okay, Experimental Frenzy, Light Up the Stage, and some Lizard's Lightnings and Chain Whirl.
I will take the Frenzy.
Okay.
Pass the turn. Just target the most powerful card.
8 for 1.
18 all.
I'm going to go ahead and Light Up the Stage. Top 2. Hit a Collision Colossus and a Pyromancer. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do both of those. It's a little unfortunate. Your turn.
I really need to hit some land drops here, so I'm going to Thought Erasure you. I will take the Chain Whirler.
All right.
And we need to hit lands, so I'm binning this Lyra.
Okay. From my side of things, I think the Pyromancer offers 2 less damage, but a body is a little more important. It'll force him to have a Wrath or some effect.
16.
16. Hit you for 1 down to 15. And even though it shows him my hand, I think I'm going to play the Stomping Ground tapped.
Okay, well, I will show Todd the Wrath that I have. Expected him to play the creature there, so pass the turn.
Well, even if I don't play the creature, if I just hit you with the +4, I think it's net negative for me in general. Just because you could just spot removal the Firebrand. All right, hit you for 2.
13.
And he missed some land drops, so I can just fire off 6 damage at the face here if I want to. But I kind of want to save these just in case he plays something like Lair Dawnbringer or Thief Sandy over the next few turns. He already put 1 Lair in the graveyard, though, so maybe we just don't give him a chance to absorb. I'll 6 you.
I'm at 7. You can go.
Go. We're going to play the land. We just want to make sure that we can maximize Frenzy or lie at the stage if we draw them.
Okay, I'm going to take this turn to try to get this Kaya down.
Yep.
So
you
I want
a creature
a
and
creature and a
else.
non-creature is what I want.
Yeah, and you go
Go
to
to
9.
9. Pass.
This is actually pretty good. We have 5 cards in Exile already. Kaya could just 20 me in a little bit, or
Yeah.
18 me. All right, I will hit. I'm going to hit Kaya for 2.
Okay.
Your turn. I guess that was another reason to hold on to Wizard's Lightning, huh?
Take the
Creature and a
Shimmerler and something. Go to 11.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
Yeah. Attack Kaya.
Go to 13.
All right, I'll play a Frenzy. Your turn.
Okay, got a little aggressive there, and maybe I'm getting punished. There were
You don't-
no creatures in
No
there, right?
creatures left, yeah.
But I will play a Teferi and minus on the Frenzy.
Still.
Pass the turn.
Okay. Killed Fairy. Go. It's only got 2 cards left.
Exile that. Play this other
Come
Teferi
on.
that I drew.
Tilt.
Plus, draw this, untap these. You can go.
Okay, I'm taking this card out of my deck. I'm just gonna double burn spell your Teferi if it comes to it, or your
I was gonna absorb your Frenzy. And,
Oh no! I mean, you have a Teferi that is
okay,
unchecked.
I was gonna
Come on.
negate. I was gonna negate your Frenzy.
Okay.
I lied.
All right, give me some questions while I'm resideboarding / shuffling.
All right, MTG Day was curious. What are your thoughts on this standard format as a whole? Is this just merely a good format, or is this a great format?
I don't think this is quite a great format. I think that the fact that a lot of decks are revolving around 3 colors instead of 2 is kind of a failure of the guild mechanics not being worthwhile enough to promote those 2 color synergies. You know, last season we saw Golgari be dominant. We saw Izzet being very strong. And then this format, though, now that we have access to all the mana, there's just very little incentive to only be 2 colors. And
It's just always going to happen when you have 10 chalk lands and other fixing. It's happened basically every Ravnica format.
I understand.
But I mean, even previously, right? Like the Golgari deck wasn't an undergrowth deck. Like I mean, that's true too. Like I think if you had a lot more graveyard synergy mechanics, there is more incentive to just be 2 colors, especially with the mana constraints of things like Golgari Fine Broker, for example. You know, it's pretty rare. Like, even though Crackling Drake has seen play in like Jeskai and stuff, there's a reason why you see it primarily in Izzet. And because it's powerful enough to justify just playing 2 colors, and it kind of carries the weight of the deck on its shoulders. Same with Niv Mizzet. Like, if they had a 6-drop for every color that kind of was the unique identifier, and it was that difficult to cast, you would see a lot more 2-color decks, I think. But obviously, when you get to play all the mana fixing in the world, playing 3 colors is a lot easier. And when you have something as powerful as Hydroid Krasis kind of mucking up things and making it super easy to splash, I don't think this is a great format. Like I said, I think it's just a good format.
I think this format's great. Got decks of all different flavors. We got a combo deck. We got 3 different aggressive decks. We've got a really good control deck. We've got some bigger aggressive decks now entering with like the Gruul deck and like Rakdos mid-range as fringe options. I don't know what else you could want out of this format. Super skill intensive too. I think it's great.
All right.
My hand,
That's
not
your
so
opinion.
much.
All right,
But
lost
it's
last game.
keepable.
All right, Mountain Go.
I like that. I like that a lot. Catacomb go.
Pyromancer
18.
to you. No, actually, I'm not gonna do that. You're at 8. You're
Okay.
at
I'm at 20.
20.
Well, I will play a Watery Grave and Duresi.
Okay. Live the stage, 2 Wizards Lightnings.
I will take the light up the stage.
Now, I wanted to basically not let him kill this before live the stage, or at least make it a little bit harder. Unfortunately, we just lost out on 2 damage, so
18.
without another way to turn on light up the
Will
stage.
Duresi.
Come on, really?
Oh, take that one. I really want to hit a 4th land here, so I'm actually just going to Thought Erasure one of the Lightnings and get a Surveil in.
This does not feel very good.
I'm a little worried about just him ripping another Frenzy, so even though this isn't a land, I have enough interaction to stall. I'm willing to keep it. My life total is pretty high, so I go to 16.
We did a little sideboard switcheroonie here, so we're going to treasure map and say go.
Did not realize that was a thing.
I think it's going to be a fairly common sideboard plan. The Collision Colossus did not feel very good, so I'm going to hold on to the Wizard's Lightning. I don't think there's a reason to burn it right now. Treasure map. Land on bottom. Instead of stop on my upkeep. Treasure map. I don't really want another burn spell. We just want a creature, so I'm going to bottom it. Channeler's a pretty good creature. 15, your turn.
Attempt the chain roller. 17. You can go.
All right. Upkeep. Set a stop. Treasure map. Bottom of land. Draw a card. Transform this. I'm going to play a Cinder Vines. Pass the turn. Whenever opponent casts a non-creature spell, Cinder Vines deals 1 damage to that player. Unfortunately, under the current Mulligan rules, you can't redirect to Planeswalkers, which is unfortunate. That would be quite good against things like Teferi. Draw for turn. Draw a card. Play it, a Lava Runner.
Sure.
I will attack for 2.
15.
I will play 1 mana, light up the stage. Resolves. I've not played a land yet. I will. Kind of want to wait till next turn to play the Experimental Frenzy, just because if I play it now, it lets him use his mana. And at this point, like, I don't know what he can use his mana on. Like, maybe he has a Moment of Craving or something for the Lava Runner, but I feel like he would have just snapped it off if he had it. So I think his hand is just full like Teferi and Lyra maybe. Okay. But I also don't want to sacrifice a treasure, so we'll just play the land and say go.
Okay. Moment the Lava Runner.
All right, you take 1. So you go to
16 overall.
Add you at 15.
So down to 14, up to 16.
Yes, sorry, you're right. And then or I'm gonna maybe I shouldn't Wizard's Lighting just in case. Okay, go. Like if he taps out here for Teferi and like minuses on Cinder Vines, which I don't think he'll do that. But if he does, we wanted to hold the Wizard's Lightning and be able to pop it.
Thought erasure you.
Take 1.
15.
I think because we're just casting the Frenzy, we just want to Wizard's Lightning him.
12.
All right. Now you get to Surveil.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Water Grave.
Shock to 10.
Okay.
Pass.
All right. Well, we're gonna cast, or we might not cast the Frenzy just because of he has Absorb up, but it does trade with the Absorb. So, all right, we'll cast it and get absorbed.
Resolves.
Okay, it's gonna get mortified then. All right, Rebound Crag. We'll play it. I guess we probably should have played the Virus No Pyromancer from hand first, huh? Okay, we'll play Light Up the Stage.
Sure.
All right, these two. I already played my land, so your turn.
Go to 9.
Mm-hmm. I think I played my land. Did I? Well, actually, I don't think I did.
Yeah, you played a land.
Yeah,
last
you played
turn
a
on
Crag.
Frenzy.
You played a Crag.
Okay. Centervine's putting the screws to Ross. Dealt 1 from Mortify, a Thought Erasure, and a Moment of Craving. It's already done 3 damage, which is better than like a Lightning Strike.
Yeah, the Cinder Vines is definitely putting in work right now.
Still got some ways to go too. Resolves. You take 1. You're
At
8.
8. You can go.
All right. Draw for turn. Lightning strike targeting Teferi. Pyromancer target Teferi. I don't really want to draw a card. If we draw something good here, I'd rather just do it EOT so we don't get hit with another discard spell.
That was good.
What'd you draw? No. Wow. Wow. Wow.
You can go.
Wow. Draw a card. Wow. Untap. Draw for turn. Wow. 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 That's good. Wow. Wow. Take your breath at him. Wow. I'm going to eat your Lear Dawnbringer. Wow. I'm going to hit you for 2. Put you to 6. And then I'm going to Pyromancer you to 4. And now if he plays a Cryocarnarium or another sweeper, he goes to 3, and then he's dead to any of our 3 damage burn spells. Wow. What a great day. All right, questions, anyone?
Maybe I'm supposed to bring in a hostage taker?
I did have one from earlier. I don't know if you've seen this, but Sloopy Goopers was wondering if you'd seen the War of the Spark image they released today.
No. We usually those come out around 11, and I'm already like eating breakfast and heading here. I mean, I don't know. Can you pull it up on screen right now?
I can't pull it up on screen, but I can bring it up here and show it to you.
Okay.
Not on stream, unfortunately, but
That's unfortunate. Can't pull up a thing on the screen. I guess couldn't you just add a source?
I'd have to download it and then.
Oh, sure. Roth? How are you feeling right now? You look like a man bewildered.
I thought I was going to steal that one.
That was a 20. You had hit me 4 times.
Yeah.
4.
But once I hit you once, the game's over.
I'm like cracking back for 4, so you're only gaining like 1 a turn. All right, this is the War of the Spark. So it's Nicol Bolas, as everyone already figured out. Who's at his tail?
Liliana.
Liliana's at his tail. What's above his head?
People are speculating it's the Immortal Sun, or it's looks like it might be the Mask of Yawgmoth. And
Mask
then
of
all of
Yawgmoth,
his, all the Eternals around him and the Planar Bridge and stuff.
That's awesome. That is a sweet image. Honestly, if Nicol Bolas steals all the sparks from all the other planeswalkers, I think that would be great. Because the fact that there are so many people with superpowers means that no one's really got superpowers, you know?
We don't need any of your Ayn Rand objectivism here, Todd.
Dude, that's from The Incredibles 1, okay?
Yeah,
I don't know about...
The Incredibles is based off of objectivism. I wrote a paper about this in college.
Cool. I was just making a joke, man. Okay, your turn. Let's go. Let's play some Magic. We got 9 minutes.
Sand's not great.
Mulligan it up.
No, it's a keep, but it's not great.
All right. Lava Runner.
Go.
No blue, he says. Back for 1.
Cast down.
It's dead. I'm going to Pyromancer you for 2.
18.
Zip. Zop. Jupiter Jelly Pudding.
Pass the turn.
Time for 2.
16.
Play another Pyromancer.
14.
Your turn. Now, if he hits me with a Cryocarnarium or Kai's Wrath, it's not great.
Pass the turn.
But if he has neither, we're in pretty good shape. Firebrand.
Sure.
5U.
Contempt one of the Pyromancers.
Yep. You're at 16 and
Then
13.
13.
Your
Yep.
turn. We need to draw lands to unlock our hand, but... Just play your Lear Dawnbringer. Game's over. Okay. I can maybe beat that one.
Go.
I don't think the way he untapped his lands, I don't think he has a thing. So I'm going to go 2 at Teferi and 1 at you.
I'm at 12.
I'm going to light up the stage. Good draw. You have negate. Oh, no. He has a cast down or something for this Pyromancer is what he has.
I'm going to light up the stage resolve.
All right. I'll
Try to kill Teferi.
That was just a ridiculous hit.
Your turn. Did you say a curse word? I don't think you're allowed to say that on television, Ross. I mean, you're still in good shape. What are you
I'm
mad
still
about?
probably winning this game, but
Yeah.
that's because I'm great. Kaya, exile the Firebrand. Ensep, untap these two. Moment of Craving the Pyromancer. I'll go to 14. Pass the turn.
Wow, why are you so salty right now? I'm missing all my land drops. You know?
Still salty about the last game.
Okay,
Negate your Lightning Strike.
it's fine. You win. My hand was full of things that I couldn't cast, so. All right, well, that's going to
My
do
hand
it
was full of Teferis I
Shut
didn't
up.
need to cast.
Shut up. Big jerk. See, this is what I do. Y'all wonder why I get salty? It's because when Ross is winning, this is how he acts. Not even like this is not even Ross losing. This is what we call upstuck. This is when you're ahead, but you're still mad that you lost previously, like a little bit.
Oh, like a lot of bit.
Well, when like I go to the casino sometimes, right? And I'll sometimes be on like
So
a
I've heard.
really hot streak, right? You know, and I'll be up a bunch, and then I have this like 10-minute span where I lose like twice in a row, and I get mad. And I look down, I'm like still rich, you know, but like I'm just mad that I lost those 2 times. And this is what Ross is right now. He's just completely upstuck. He won the match. He's still gonna keep his marbles at the end of the video, and he's still mad. He just beat the crap out of me that game, and he's just furious right now, just because I got him with a Direfleet Daredevil. Just look at him. You know what? I'll take it. I got the Direfleet Daredevil you in a spot that, you know,
One outs me.
one outs you. Really?
You had one Direfleet Daredevil.
You're okay. I had 1 out to decimate you, but I also had Frenzy, light up the stage, a bunch of other things I could have done. Maybe, you know, you don't know.
That's true. I don't.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Well, we're gonna take a short break here while we prepare the second match, and I'm gonna make Ross be happy. Okay, he's gonna get to play mono blue.
good luck.
You qualified for London. Why are you mad right now? You won the match. You have all the chips.
The best part is I'm not mad at all. It's great.
Okay. All right. We'll be right back for more Versus Live. Don't go anywhere.